Hi, and welcome everybody to the next episode of Meeting with Changemakers. Today we have the pleasure to talk to Mustafa Siraj from Pakistan, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his story, about his green entrepreneurship. And I'm excited to meet you today, Mustafa. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Philip. How are you?
I'm fine, excited to talk to you today. So tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about
pleasure,
yourself.
my
I
friend.
got recommendation to talk to you because you were part of the UNIDO program, something we've talked about in previous episodes about green tech funding. But first of all, I would like to get to know you a little bit. So what brought you into the field of, let's say, sustainability, sustainable entrepreneurship? And yeah, why did you then decide to apply for UNIDO program? And what brought you basically into being a green entrepreneur?
Okay. Okay, my name is Mustafa Siraj. I am a CEO and director of Biotech Fuels Private Limited. Biotech Fuels basically it's working in three sectors. Number one is solar. Number two is biodiesel. Number three is biogas. So we have three sectors, three trade fields in our portfolio under the name of Biotech Fuels Private Limited. We are basically a renewable energy company dealing in only renewable products that are sustainable and working towards that part. My journey especially started from a very small village where in 2013, I visited a village where there was no water, there was no electricity,
Mm.
they were losing money, they had to wake up all night and they had no gas. Then they have these issues of expensive biodiesel, environmental issues. So if you when you go into a village like that, they need biogas, they need biodiesel, cheap product, clean product, and they need solar. So when I went over there, I happened to be there with my driver. It all started from there. When I saw those people suffering like anything and had no access to these places and to these things. So I immediately decided, yeah, why not I put up a solar power plant here from which I can run water, I can give them cheap water, I can give them water accessibility all the time. I can run multiple flower machines that they use over there. So I decided to put up a plant over there. There was the first plant in Pakistan, which was running a water pump, and it was also running a flour mill. To mince the wheat, they use these things in the villages. So under one roof, and in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of people living in the village, I put it up there. So what happened? They got access to water, all the time, cheap water. Then they got access to flour mill. They didn't have to go anywhere, wake up, stay up all night because the electricity is not there. So 80% of the problems got solved. Then what I did was we went into biodiesel. We are also manufacturing biodiesel and we are supplying biodiesel to them, which is again clean. There is no pollution. And we are giving them as a lesser price. So overall, environmental impact, there was a huge environmental impact, yes, and there was a huge economic impact for them as well because those are poor people. So for them, it was all ends were covered up. So from there, I started this journey. First, we built it up, and we built up the solar part of the business. Then slowly, gradually, we built up the biodiesel part of the business, and then the third was biogas. We're giving them biogas units. Now, what they're doing is they have a lot of Pakistan has a lot of cattle farming. And now we have a lot of cow dung and all that. They're using their own their own feedstock dung into this biogas. So all the problems basically solved. And same more or less is also applied in urban rural areas because even in Pakistan is an energy scarce country. We have gas issues. We are importing heavy fuels. So all these things is also happening in the urban as well as the rural area. So this is what we are doing and we've been doing for the last 8 years, and it has been quite a success for us. And I got the UNIDO award on my first project that I did in the village, the water pump and the flour mill, the first project. So the award was the UNIDO award was on that project.
Yeah, well, I can only say chapeau for your great work. And it's very nice to see that you're caring for the people in the countryside, which is normally heavily affected by the scarcities that you mentioned, no? So have you since then been able to expand like certain different villages, or you keep working in the same village? Like what's the coverage a little bit of the project?
Yeah, we have a lot of NGOs. We are working with a lot of NGOs in this area. And there is, of course, some government help also. So through those NGOs and through those the people who are working in the villages over there, we are getting the support from them, and we are reaching out to these people through the NGOs, and giving them solutions and all these things. So far it has been a great success for us, and we have been able to reach out many. I mean, approximately 30 to 40 villages, and that is impacting approximately 50,000 people so far.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, I have some questions regarding the technology, because UNIDO is also a program for funding green technology, and you mentioned the biodiesel and, well, biofuels. So what kind of resources, and let's say, because you mentioned on one hand you're creating cycles from the cow manure, I assume, to create gas for the biogas, no? So that's one thing where you
Yes.
work in agriculture, and that's a great way to create some kind of circular economy in an agricultural field and solve problems. One problem is excess of nutrients in the soil. If you just let the manure go into the soil, no, and you, instead of doing that, you're using it for creating energy, which they're also missing. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, and one more point I missed here is the biodiesel. What we are making biodiesel by using waste cooking oil. Now, Pakistan has a lot of waste cooking oil. So this the main ingredient that we use to produce biodiesel, it's used waste cooking oil. So then again, it has an impact, it doesn't go to waste and it doesn't go into something else. It goes into biodiesel. So from waste to energy, biodiesel, from waste to energy, biogas, and then solar itself, it's there. So this is what we're trying to do, in these three sectors.
Very interesting. And like, let's say, looking at the prospects and innovation, are you also doing research on using different plant materials maybe to create biodiesel? Because, for example, I read up about certain plants you can use, no, and which are better and which are a little bit less good, well, worse in terms of CO2, for example. One plant I came across is hemp. You know that hemp, for example, is a perfect plant to create biodiesel. What are you planning, or are you doing research on different plant materials and how, because one thing is reusing the cooking oil, but are you also researching on like primary resources that you maybe need when demand increases? Are you innovating on that field?
Yes, yes. What we are right now doing is working on is that we are working on the chicken acid oil.
Huh.
Now, chicken acid oil is available in abundance. It's available like, it's like throwaway. It's like there is no scarcity of that product. But in order to use acid oil, we need a proper distillation. We need to distill it, because the oil that we are using for biodiesel, its FFA, the fatty acid in it, should be less than 2. Now, what happens is acid oil FFA is 40. So we need a distillation plant. We are making a research on that. We buy a distillation plant, distill that acid oil, bring the FFA down to 2, and then produce the biodiesel and then distill same. So in that way, that acid oil, which is very cheap, cheaper than the used cooking oil, first we will get a better product, better price on the product, and then acid oil is available in abundance. So we have many
Mhm.
options. We have option of used cooking oil. We have options of tallow. We have options of acid oil. But the acid oil is the cheapest. So we want to give people a cheaper product. So in order to do that, we need to use the acid oil so that we can distill it, make it a better quality oil, and then produce biodiesel. So currently we are working on that.
Interesting. And what kind of scales do you offer? Do you also offer small scale solutions for households, or do you offer more like industry solutions for bigger farms and bigger plants? What is the product scale you
Yeah,
have there?
right. Yeah, right now we are catering to the agriculture industry. Since because the electricity prices in Pakistan has gone up, has rocketed up, it's gone very high. Now, what happens is that now these people are using diesel tractors and diesel engines to irrigate their lands, and diesel is also not very cheap. It's also very expensive, so has become very tough for them. So the demand in the agriculture sector is very, very high. So we are catering to these people who cannot afford and everything, rather than going to the people in the urban areas where they can afford to pay. We are first starting from this area. So our production is 20,000 liters per day. And right now we are catering to approximately 15 villages, approximately 25,000 people,
Wow.
the tractor. So we're giving it to them. And now we are planning to upscale the project and then come to the urban areas as well.
Wow, very nice. Then yeah, let's talk a bit about the entrepreneurship side of your company and how it started. You mentioned a little bit, then we talked about the UNIDO program a little bit. So what kind of assistance did you get through the program? There would be one question. And the second question would be like, as an entrepreneur, I imagine you always have to look for collaborations, investors, and funding. So what was a bit the journey on that side to get the whole capital going and to get the means that you needed for all the investments?
Okay, let me tell you one thing. The UNIDO program really helped me a lot, because when I first put up the project, I was all alone and I was just thinking of my own mind, and I just did it. But when I joined the UNIDO program, it opened a lot of doors for me. Like now you just mentioned the investors part, and and the training that they gave me, how to upscale it, what to do next, how you can do. I met so many different people, so many different entrepreneurs. I heard their stories and everything, but that really helped me. That really opened my mind that what path I have to take, what do I have to do, where I need to go from there. So it opened all the doors. So it really helped me, in every aspect in my business. So that also, till day I'm carrying that with me. And that is a real help over there in the initial phase when the UNIDO program, supported me and helped me in this thing.
Interesting. So then to conclude and to round up a little bit, maybe talking to new entrepreneurs and other people that are having projects and maybe thinking of being an entrepreneur themselves, what kind of recommendations would you give those people that just start up, and from maybe learnings that you have, what to avoid, what to emphasis on, maybe some tips for the younger generation of entrepreneurs?
I have 3 words for them.
Okay.
Only 3 simple words. Be persistent and consistent, and do not give up.
Okay.
Just keep on going and keep on walking. That's it.
Okay, yeah, I
And
think there's
resistance as well. These
nothing
3 words:
to add.
persistent, consistent, and resistance. That's it. 3
Okay,
words.
okay, yeah, that sounds great. I think there's nothing to add to that.
Nothing.
Thank you so much, Mustafa, for your time,
Right.
and keep up the good work, and please keep us posted.
Okay.
For everybody that watches the video,
Yes.
we will put the links in the description of the video so you can find out more about Mustafa's work, and we will share it as much as we can. Thank you so much for taking the time, and all the best to your venture and your company.
Thank you very much, Philip. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.